let's talk about apart from installing Power BI. Okay. Can we hear me now? All right. So yeah, what else? Sorry, you were saying like we have a Telegram group. Have you sent it? Okay. Sorry, you were saying I caught you short. I'm sorry. Go on.
Say last week we discussed about how to study what you analyze one.
Okay.
The secondly, make analysis by using this Instagram, also the box plot, I think about the trend analysis on the right, this and paper and so on and so on.
All right. What else? You.
What we use our after the installation, we do also have to import data
Okay.
from Excel sheets and transform it and visualize it
Yeah.
into a node. But
Thank you
one
very
this
much.
program requires that.
Okay. Now, something that all of you have forgotten to mention is that last week you also went to do something called Power Query Editor. I don't know if you can remember. The first thing I did when I imported the data was transform it, isn't it? When you're transforming data, it takes you to Power Query Editor. So today, even our lab is mainly about that because cleaning your data and preparing it for analysis is extremely important. If it's not clean enough, you will not have good visualizations. You can't make good insights. You can't derive proper trends or any patterns. Okay. So today's class is about Power. Okay, we're going to talk about Power Query Editor. I'm going to teach you guys how to create models, manage relationships in Power BI, and the final thing is DAX, your data analysis expressions. So I wanted to ask you guys for a recap of last week because we have to be on the same page. We have to be moving. If you don't understand last week, I actually am not supposed to move on to next week. Okay. So, but so far last week with the video with last week's class, does anybody have any concerns before we start today's class? Any questions? Any problems? Nothing. So everybody understood what we did last week. Yes. Who has?
If I truly know the core difference between Power BI
And Excel. Excel has more visualizations. Does you can do a lot more. In fact, you use Excel knowledge to do Power BI. So for DAX, you're using all the formulas, your count, sum, average, sum X. That's what you use for Excel. So Excel, Power BI helps more with data wrangling. You can do more data cleaning and a lot more visualization to Power BI.
So why is this better than Excel?
More visualizations, more
It is have
reporting.
more visualization.
Yeah, more visualizations, reporting, and more options for data cleaning. Okay. Yeah, those are just some of the advantages.
Can
Okay.
you check spelling on Power BI?
Can you
Check spelling, correct spelling.
spelling? Um, no. So, but most times you're importing Excel files, CSV files. Personally, I go through my data from Excel first. I look at it in Excel before I import it into Power BI. Is it there? All right. So as I was saying, so your regular everyone considers almost all transaction data transformation options relationship with your data, your queries, all the tables you have set up for this report. Your data builds where you're seeing here basically translation services. So for applied sector, for everything we do, this first three steps are actually going to have behind as well. It navigated, went to your source, picked up the document, brought it and changed it. So automatically what it does is it detects data type. For example, your manufacturing cost, your unit, so all of these types, I mean, those are Excel sheets, right? So Power BI detected all the data type and put them there. So for any change you make with your Power Query, everything will be there. You decide, oh, I don't need this change, I want to remove it, you choose X and you use it. Okay? So anyway, we're going to be seeing it in real time today. So this just, yeah, I just need to tell you about it. In Power BI, we have something you can use column quality, something called column quality, um, as well. Column quality, column distribution, and column profile to evaluate and understand data. So all you have to do is click on the column and then go to the top. I think it's under data, is it view? And then you check your column distribution, column quality. It tells you all of them. Now, what it does for column quality, it assesses the percentage of like valid, error, and empty values you are using. So, for example, if you have a customer ID column that shows a high percentage of errors, you might need to investigate data entry issues or mismatches in data type. For your column distribution, it provides you a visual and numerical breakdown of the distribution of the unique values within a column. So this is useful for spotting like any skewed data or any outliers. So for example here, if a salary column unexpectedly shows a large number of maximum or minimum values, it could indicate data entry errors because we don't have a lot of people earning that. For example, if it's a big organization. Column profile, it just shows you a detailed summary of each column, including top values and the presence of empty cells. Including values and the presence of empty cells. This is particularly helpful for identifying frequently occurring values and the estimating, assessing the completeness of data. Now, when you're in data cleaning, there are many things you're going to do. So you're going to sometimes you handle missing data, and you can handle it in two ways. We have deletion and imputation. For deletion, you're basically removing it. Okay, so you're removing rows and columns that contain missing values. In our lab today, you will see us doing both. For some, I'll calculate the mean to represent values that are missing, and for some, we're going to delete them because they are null values, they are empty. Okay. So anyway, in Power Query, if you want to do a you put column, tell the column to expect, you use the rows, and you select the remove rows or remove blank rows. It does what it's actually. Oh, I have to come back here. Imputation, you're filling in missing values with substitutes. So, like you use your median, mode, or a constant value, preferred if the data is scarce or when removing rows drastically, reducing sample size. Steps, the steps you would do, we'll do this. I'm not even going to talk about the steps again. I'll just show you guys when we come to Power Query. Is that okay? All right. So your advanced data, you can merge, you can append, you can group. By merging queries, you're basically combining two data sets based on a common key. So it could be customer ID, product ID, order ID. You're appending, you're concatenating or merging rows from one data set to another. For your grouping, you're aggregating data based on a specific criteria. So from 10, maybe I need age from 15 to 24, 24 to 36, 36 to 60, stuff like that. Data models is the next thing. You need to understand their data elements and define their relationship. So you act as a blueprint. Now, this part actually, Power BI does it for you. Excel doesn't detect relationship. I know it doesn't. So with Power BI, once you bring it in, it automatically detects. Sometimes you have to change it because I'm the one that knows my data better, right? You don't have to put customer ID and customer ID. This for a different set of customers or this for different set of products or something like that. So you can, it creates it, but we have to manage it. This is where our cardinalities come in, our one to many, our cross filter direction, and I'll show you both of them and how they work. Okay. Creating relationships, you access relationship by clicking on the relationship button, or you can go to the manage relationship at top. I'll show you guys in our um, demo. And then cardinalities and cross filter directions, we have one to many, one to one to many to one, and many to many. So for your one to many, I have some examples here. Imagine a scenario where every employee in a company has a unique key card. So the employees table that stores employee details has a one-to-one relationship with the key cards table because it's storing per employee, right? Where each record in the employees table corresponds to exactly one matching record in your key card. For one to many, a retail scenario where one store has many sales transactions, so the stores table will be related to the sales table in a one to many relationship. Each record, meaning in the stores table, representing a store, could be linked to many records in your sales table because in one store, what happens? Many sales, right? So that's your one to many. For your many to one, in the context of employees reporting, for example, to a manager, the employees table could have a many to one relationship with managers because multiple employees are reporting to one manager. Okay, that's an example of a many to one. And your many to many relationship is where we can be saying like multiple authors can write multiple books. So here an authors table and books table will be related through a many to many relationship. Each author in the authors table can be associated with many books, right? And same thing with many books can have many authors. Okay. So your cross filter direction is when you filter for your we have single and we have both. So for a single direction, it filters in one table affects the other table, but not vice versa. So for example, I have an example to show it in our lab. But for example, if I have your filter financials and product, if it's one only from financials and table, if I have another table that is not related, if I put cross filter, I can still use the same thing because the data goes back and forth on this table and back and forth on the other. So I can still connect it to this one through that one in the middle that has the characteristics that works with them. Okay. Best practice for creating relationships: you ensure the data types are the same, are correct. They match between tables to establish accurate relationship. Use primary keys whenever possible
The
to ensure
screen is not
uniqueness.
on. It's not in online. It's it's better to share full screen.
Yeah, sure.
It's not moving online. Okay,
Oh,
okay,
oh,
yeah.
oh, oh. Yeah.
Mm,
Right.
yes.
It's okay. So now it's moving. Hmm? So yeah, then DAX functions. I don't know if we're going to cover DAX today, so I'm just going to hold on this one. If I'm sure that we're able to finish the managing Power Query and managing relationships, then we'll just go through DAX briefly. Okay, so I'll hold this and go straight to the lab. Okay, now everybody has the lab manual, right? Right. Okay, so you go to the Google Drive link that we have for the class. Does everybody have it? Okay, I'm just going to share it. Um, oh, it's my okay. So you can download the oh you can download the data set. So we're going to be using the Power Query one. There's something called we're going to be using this one, the Power Query Editor Tutorial. Okay. So for me, I'm going to open my Power BI. You can all open your Power BI as well. Telegram. I think there are two Telegrams. We have two groups, huh? On Telegram. So please download your Power, open your Power BI desktop and download your Power Create and download the data sets. Because the company Power BI Power Create. So I want as I'm moving, everybody is moving with it. Okay, we're going to go really slowly so everyone. So you want to do the Google Drive? Yeah. Telegram. No. Google Drive. Has anybody downloaded it? Oh, wow, there's a general one. The Power Create. You all have it. The part of the class have it, you are moving. Okay? What's the problem here? No, 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 yeah? Camping Power Create. Power Create. I think it's called camping food breakfast. Okay, so I'll post it on the YouTube chat for the others to be able to access it. All right. So your query editor, um, the, this is the link. Um, so you let me just show you guys. This is where you're downloading. I'm offline. Eh? Oh no, I'm not. For some reason. How well? I need help. No, it's not. It's connected. Hmm? It's not allowing me to post.
Okay, send it to me. You must also that you will send it.
So you guys are going to have the link now. You're downloading the Power Query. Let me just copy the file name. Well, yeah, we're already back. So please, let's open our Power BI desktop. So first thing, before my Power BI desktop opens, I'm just going to open my file, my data set in Excel. We're just going to look at it. Okay. Um, okay. So this is data set we have. Thing we have is purchase tracker. Now, if you remember last week, this is what we have, right? Last week we were shopping. We had rice, dried beans, canned vegetables, and milk. Okay, but this week I added a few things. So this week we bought flashlights, we bought duct tape, and we bought water filter. Okay, that's the first thing. The first table we have, the first sheet. Next one is we have this. So when the company gave when they took all the details of our shopping list and our food prep list, how we bought all those things in those stores, somebody now decided, let me just sort it, because normally when you get data from organizations, this is what they do. You have the first table that has everything. You now have another table that they are grouping it based on store. So for this one here now, you have some in Costco. You can see all the items we bought in Costco, the amount we spent January, February, March, April, May. Okay. For Target, we have the same thing. For Walmart, we have the same thing, and we have a grand total. Same thing, purchase overview is the same thing. They brought it again, but this time around it's not sorted as Costco. It's sorted as Costco, Target, Walmart. Okay. So anyway, we're going to import this data set to Power BI. Now, like last week, I told you guys if you're importing data, you can import different types of data and different types of files. So for me, I want this Excel sheet. So I'm just going to click on Excel workbook and I'm going to click on my Power Query. Let me just close this Telegram because it's going to end up bothering me. And I'm going to close the WhatsApp too to avoid. Okay. So by importing it, just like you guys saw the three sheets on it, we have our previous table, purchase overview, and purchase tracker. So, but I'm just going to bring in two. Okay. The purchase tracker is already what I have in pivot table and already have what I have in purchase overview. So we're going to import this and this. Okay, so here we have this data set, and here you have this. Okay, can everybody see it? Okay, so I'm going to select both and I'm going to transform them. So when I click on transform data, it takes me to Power Query Editor. In Power Query Editor is where I can do all the cleanings, all the transformations that I need to do for my data. So first thing now, I just want us to look at this data. I want us to, from what we've spoken about this morning, can anybody identify some issues with this data set? Okay, let's hear them. Huh? Some columns are empty, yes. Column header. What else do we have? So we can see a lot of problems, right? So by the end of today's class, we should be able to clean it and make it ready for analysis. Now the first thing we do, I'll just take you through the Power Query now in real world environment. I showed you the picture, but did we exploit? We didn't. Okay. So the first thing for any table that you want to click on, this is my purchase overview. We can open the pivot table as well. You can see the same issues. So for every table that you bring in, this is where you find it. Okay. If you decide you want to add another table, meaning you want to add another table to this, you can add a new source. Excel, you bring it in. Okay. Now with this, that means you can add different tables. The more tables you have, the more relationships in your database. Okay. So first thing I want to do here is okay, let's just go through. So you can enter data just like your first lab where you could just enter here and basically create another table that you want to add. Okay, so if we decide we don't have the Excel sheet, but I want to add some things that are missing in this data, like where are the customers? Well, I want to see their names. You can impute them here. Okay, if you don't have the data set. Now, we can do things like choosing columns, we can remove columns, we can keep top rows, we can keep rows, you can remove rows as well, you can split, you can arrange ascending and descending order, we can group them, we can change data type. Under our transform tab, we can use our first row as header, we can still group this data, we can transpose, detect data type, you can replace, you can pivot and unpivot some of your columns, you can split them. So anyway, these are some of the things. So for this lab, I've written a list of things that I want us to do to clean it. Okay. First thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the purchase overview table. And in my purchase overview table, the first thing I want to see, I want just let's first go through everything. My first issue is this null here. Why am I having null at the top? Right? So first thing I want to do is I want to remove these rows. Okay. So I'm going to come to my home and then remove rows. So I want to remove top rows because they are literally the first two rows, right? So you click on remove top rows. And how many rows do I want to remove? There are two, huh? So you put two, it has taken it. Okay. But still, you have the title here. You have column one, column two, column three. And this even looks more like the title of the table, the location, right? The product, the date. It makes more sense if that is at the top, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here and use first row since that is now our first row. Here. Right? So I'm going to use my first row as header. Okay. Use first row as header. Now it makes more sense, right? Okay. So after we do that, now we have these headers here, like A, B, C. They're the data types for each of these columns. And each of these data columns, I did not put it. Power BI automatically detected that, oh, when you see ABC, it's text. ABC here is also text. But date 1.2, that's decimal. Okay, so the details here. Another one, 1.2. 1.2 again, 1.2, and then a grand total. So what I want to do here is I want to change these data types for this one. It's not a decimal, it's money I'm talking about. So why is it there? Okay, so I'm going to put it as fixed decimal number because anyway, when we're writing money, we write it as four. If it's you write it exactly, like you don't call if it's 550, you are still giving 50, right? Are you giving 5? Okay, so it only makes sense. So I've changed it and I'll change it for this all of them. Now Power BI detected it and it's wrong. Okay, so sometimes you still have to follow up and check everything. Same with relationships, it will always detect the relationship. When you put two tables, customer ID, it will merge them together. Product ID, it will order, student ID, all of that. Okay, so it actually reduces, even though most of the times it is correct. Okay, but in rare cases, that's not maybe what you want to use it as, right? So I'm going to do the same for all of this really quickly. So far, is everybody following me? Is anybody hooked? I'm fast. Okay, I'm going. Okay, let's catch up. Let's catch up. Where are we? Okay, so has everybody loaded the data? Okay. Then what else have you done? Have you clicked on transform? You transformed. You're on Power Query Editor. So have you removed the top rows? I think that was the first thing you did. Okay. So you go. Should I do it again? All right. So, as I told you guys, we have transformation steps here, but so I'm basically just going to cancel everything I've done and we'll do it again together. If you see me moving fast, you have to stop me. Okay. So I'm going to remove all of this and change type. Okay. So this is now if you look at what I just did, the change type was automatic. Once you import it, you have four things here, right? What do you have? What do you have that I don't have? Here, your applied steps. Everybody that imports it will have four steps. What's the last step that you guys have that I don't have? Change type. The change type is when Power BI imported it, decided to choose change the time. You understand? So when it got to your 8 decimal, right? For my own, or your own, it's saying it's decimal, right? So you have 1.2 there. It's a decimal number. So the first thing I want us to do again is that I want us to first remove this small value at the top. They are really bothering me. Let me just sit down and clear first. Okay? So the first thing I'll do is I'll come here under your transform or under your home tab. We go under remove columns. I'm trying to remove where remove columns. These are rows. So we're going to remove rows. I'm trying to remove rows at the top. So I'm going to say remove top rows. How many rows do we have at the top? Two rows. Okay. So once I click on two, now if I have more than two, you can put no matter the amount of rows you want to remove, you can put it there. It removes it for you. Okay. So number of rows and okay. Are we on the same page? Has everybody done this? The next thing we did was what? So the first row, the header. We identified that these are probably the headers, and it's showing us column one, column two, column three. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do again is we're going to go to transform tab, and under here we have use first row as headers, right? So we use our first row as header, and automatically our location, date, and they're all there. Okay. Next thing I did was what? I think I changed the data type, right? So data type here, we agree that location is text, right? We also agree that product is also text. But do we agree money is decimal? So money is most likely a fixed decimal number. So I'm going to change it for all of them. You're replacing the current one that Power BI detected initially. Yes. Mm, okay. This is how you do that once. You select all of them. How to select all of them is you click on one, shift, you know how you normally select. So you select it and then you just go at the top, your data type, you just all of it. I change it for all of them. Okay. So have we done that? Who is hooked? Okay.
So because the data that has this one,
Is it only header that has decimal number? Which is yes for this one, yes. Okay. So that's this for again. The grand total, I'm not really bothering about it because I'm going to remove it. Okay. I'm going to remove it very soon. So I don't really care what the data type there is. Yes. Highlight the header. How do I highlight the header? So you select one here. On your keyboard, you tap shift. Okay. With your hand on shift, you go and click the last one. So like this, and then shift, then you come here and it selects all of them. Okay. Now you want to change the type. Here at the top, you have data type, right? So you just put fixed decimal number. So if it's for each one, there are many ways to do these things. To be honest, like it's Power BI is so easy. If I give you guys and just tell you explore, I know all of you will come with different things. You understand? It's very straightforward, literally. Okay. So another way is here. That's what I used earlier. So if it's not involved, if you don't have a lot of tabs that you're trying to, you just want to change one, right? This is what you can do. You click on the 1.2 or whatever, if it's a dollar sign, like whatever the type is there, you click on it and you change it. Now, if I look again, I'm seeing still I have a lot of null values. So I want to remove these null values because null basically means empty. I can't really do anything with a null value, right?
Two frames, we need to consider them as another thing.
And yeah, I will not need somebody to be reading this comment as we're doing because
No, you need to stay close to the system so that increase the volume.
it's on the highest.
Then about the audio. So you have to
The audio
yes,
still.
just stay here so that you can bring everything.
You know what I'll do also after the class? I'll just do another video for you guys online. Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, those online. Yes. Sorry, 1 minute. Those online after the class. I think I'll do another video so that you guys can follow. It's. I don't want to say it's hard doing both, but I think it is. Yes.
Say for instance, you make a mistake on Power BI and you have to undo it. How are you going to do
So you come here. You have this here number. So you just click on the X under your applied steps. That's what you do.
it? Okay, like this one, under
Let me
location,
see what you have.
under location, I change it to global.
Anybody with any other issue? Are we on the same page? Yes. So we're all on the same page, right? So let's just see those that have questions. Yeah, so I'll just upload the video for you guys. It's this is the row cannot be scattered all over. All you have to do to delete it is that you come here. For each of the rows you're trying to delete, you select on it, you go under home, you remove rows and you remove top rows. Okay, that's how you do it. So you're only removing the first two. For me, I've already removed it, so it's here. So it's not here. If you want to make all columns at the same time, you click on shift. So somebody asked that question. You want to make, you select on this column, you press shift, and then you go to the last one and you do the same. So when you do that, you're selecting all of them and you can work on them jointly if you want to work on them. So for this one, we change our data type. We change it to fixed decimal number, all of them at the same time. Okay. I'm sorry about those trying to catch up. I'll put a video up. But Power BI is practical. I have to make sure everybody is following. Please check the drive. I think this is the link. This is the name of the file, and the link has been provided by the Base Ideas platform. Anyway, let's continue. So next thing I want to do is there are a lot of null values, and null basically means empty values, right? Are we together? Okay. So the first thing I want to do, I want to remove the null values. If I say I'm going to remove it one by one, you can only imagine how long it will take me. Okay, so what we do here is there's this sorting feature in Power BI. You click on the arrow next to this, and you have for each of the tabs, you can see all of that. For each of the tables, you see our Costco, Target, Walmart. If I decide to remove Costco, everything that will be here will remove it will remove Costco. Okay, so I'll do the same thing. Now I want my Costco back, but I want it to remove any table or any column that has null or any row that has null. So I'm just going to remove null, and if you look, I don't have any more null values. It's gone. Okay, so you can do the same for all of them. Um, by doing that, I have reduced my null values by a lot because I don't even think my 1st of February has null value anymore. But anyway, for these ones that are under 1st February, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, I plan on actually pivoting the column. So they're all dates. Why can't I just have one date column at the top instead of having 1st, 2nd, 3rd, right? So what I'm going to do for this one as well is I'm going to select this one and then click on shift and go all the way to the 4th. Okay, we're going to come to our transform and I'm going to unpivot the columns. What happens is I have it all of them now under one thing. Okay, all right. So to come again, I'm going to undo it. Okay, once again, to undo something in Power BI, you come here and you remove it. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to merge my 4 tables, right? The dates, because I don't want. Why am I having? Imagine if I had a whole year. What would that be? Does that mean everyone will be like that? I don't want it like that. I just want all my dates in one thing. So I just want. I can see the store, the amount I spent, and the date I went there. Okay. So what I will do is I'll select this first column, and because I want to merge, it's basically like merging the tables into one. You're on pivoting it. So you select, click on shift. If I do this, it selects the two, right? If I do this again, it selects them like that. And then because I want it with this, I've selected before. So you come under your transform tab and you click on what we have here. What do we have here? To click it. When I do that, it automatically everything is under one column now. Okay, I think it makes the data look better, to be honest, because if I'm representing it now, I know my 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, I can actually do a visual to represent those four. Okay, so for this on pivot table on under transform. Now I've unpivoted it, but I don't like why it's showing me attribute. I want to rename it. Okay, so I'm going to rename it to date. Now, when I put date, it's still showing me ABC. The date type for date, is it ABC? The text data type for date, is it ABC? It's not. So you click here and we can put dates. Okay? So are we on the same page? All right, so let's catch up. Let's catch up. Huh? So basically, I just came here. That's one option. I know this is not what I did earlier. This is one. Or you can come here, right click it, and go to rename. Okay. Now I know in this, or this, okay. I changed the data type for the date. So it was attributes. I now renamed it to date. So when I renamed it to date, it still remained as the former data type. And their dates, I want them to be represented as dates. So I just clicked here, and then I changed it to date. Okay, so I just changed data type. Now, if you don't want to do this, you can also come to the top under your transform tab. Here we have data type, and you can still choose date in the same place. Okay. Let me just have a look again. So if you can see here, by pivoting it, what happened? What else happened? Because now those null values that were there, did they come back? They are gone. Okay, because it removed them. They are empty tabs. Okay, but anyway, this has helped me to sort out my data. Now, some of the things here, like I don't want it as location. It's not really a country. They are stores, right? So I'm going to change it to store. I'm going to change here to store. I just come here and I rename. So store. Okay. What else do I want to do? My water fill, everything looks good, to be honest. My value, that's product cost. So I'm going to change it to product cost. Oh yes. So those all the values that were on under dates, that is what became value. Do you understand? That's basically the product cost. My grand total has always been there. Do you remember? So all the data for each of these dates, they're now also not factored. Yes, because all the things under the date, where will it go to? Exactly. So we're going to call that the product cost because that's the value now. That's the what is exactly there. Huh? So I'm going to rename it. You can rename it anything, but I personally want to call it product cost. So this actually looks really, really good to me. Okay, it looks good to me. But are we on the same page before I do the next thing? Everybody is together. All right. So what else? We have duct tape, bottled water, and stuff. So if in case you want to remove something, maybe you don't want to go in your data, or you don't want to, like last time I removed milk. If this time around I want to remove maybe water filter, you come here and you remove it. Now there are some things that we remove. So you can filter this filter feature. I don't know what to remove. So you can, this feature is used to filter in Power Query. Okay. So if you have equal, does not equal, begins with, does not begin with, ends with, does not end with, these are all things that you can use to filter out things. So for example, if I want to remove, let's try does not contain. So let's say maybe flashlights. So I'm just going to do it. I'm going to remove it. I just want to show you guys how to filter using this. So if I wanted to remove maybe anything that does not contain light, that means basically only flashlight will remain on our list, right? So I'll just put light. Okay. So it has removed, okay, no, flashlight. I have to put it together because it's not separated. Or let me see if we can do it on the second table. And we can't do it on the second table. It has to be this one. Let's remove, let's say T. It does not contain. So all those ones that do not contain, our duct tape is no longer here. Okay, we just have all the other things. Now I'm just showing you, like you can, for example, now if you have, sometimes you have Costco total, Target total, basically how much that person spent in that particular place. I had it in this data set, but I think maybe it's in the next one because it's not here. Anyway, so I'm just going to remove it because I'm just showing you for the filtered rows. And this grand total, I want it at the end.
To call your attention to the time when you talk to rest for the second class 2 o'clock. Let's call your attention.
Uh-huh. Wait, our time is basically up for this class.
It's in one faction. Second class is 2 o'clock. So
Yeah.
let's call your attention, but this is not combined class.
As in this one class. So the other ones are coming.
By 2 o'clock.
I saw everybody, so I tried everybody at the same time. Oh wow. So we're supposed to finish up.
Yeah.
It's
Would have
crazy.
been loaded.
I think we'll have to do an extra class.
Yes. Yes. Um, so now we actually had a discussion about this.
I've not even finished today's phone and no go on. And the time is gone.
So the matter that the extra class is actually very difficult right now because of students. So normally during Dr. It was easy for us. Thursday, Tuesday, right now, she said that now will be possible because of measures. now try to average. The only thing you're doing is that there's something.
It's Saturday. Yeah, Saturday and Sunday. And today is Saturday. Do we have light? Oh, we did not meet light in school, right? So anyway, what we can do is like next week. Go on. Like next week, we can use morning class and evening class together. Just do the lab.
Okay, so that you know that class on Sunday, she have just two official class, maybe two sessions. Saturday. So no time at all.
Honestly.
Also, to grab this thing, okay, all this time is not. So now Sundays, just slowly, about 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock, 2 hours and then I will be done. At least for Monday, Sunday. Tomorrow, then next Sunday, and that will be so Sunday class we are trying to feel it, but no other time at all.
We can do Saturday. Do you guys want Saturday? Huh?
Saturday is official class.
So we should do after it or what? Because they are against Sundays.
They won't be already officially. There's no time on Saturday. There's no time on Saturday.
Wow. Anyway, so
Yeah, we can agree. Instead of 3 to 3:30.
what last thing do you want me to repeat? Let me just do it again. No, you can talk to them. I'm trying to attend to those online. So the last step I wanted to do was rename this. That was renaming column. Please. That's why honestly, we can just come from 11 to 4 and just sit and do Last thing I did was I changed the product cost. You know when we merged our dates, but when people completed our dates, they all came here. So when they came here, this was the value for each of them that were here. Like so, date first and fourth. So these are the values that were under here. By doing that, all my cost is here. So it was as value. So if you have any questions and I'm not able to answer you, I'm so sorry the online classes are happening like this. Please send me an email. So they're talking about doing another class because we have only done one and we have to basically leave it. So we're trying to decide when we can have an extra class so that we can catch up. Within the weekdays, the university has other classes, so it's going to be very difficult to have a venue and all the resources we need. That's why we choose the course on Friday and Saturday. So, but I'm thinking we can merge next week with other classes so that we can have morning till evening, do our practice, do everything that needs to be done. I really wish I could make the experience better for you guys online. I just, yes.
One time on the store, you're going to go so that I can rest for 2 o'clock class.
Okay. So let me just finish. I just have here. Let me just finish up what I have for today, and then we can go back. So, can I have some quiet, please?
Please, one class, please.
So, for this table looks okay. I just want to finish up briefly. Okay. If you've not been able to catch up with this, we have the data analytics class at 2, so you can come back again and try to do it. Okay, so for this, I think this looks okay to me. If I want to do some visualizations, I have everything. I have my tables, there are no null values, nothing is missing, all the data types are correct, my models can be. Yes. Huh? Sorry? So use some guidance. Okay, let me just finish. I'll come and guide you. So let's just yes to the product. I can drag grand total labor to the end because it's supposed to be there. Why is product cost coming before it? Okay. Yeah. So this is what we have. So I think this looks good actually. The totals, everything just looks good. Now remember we imported two tables. This is just one. Okay. So for the second one, the changes are basically the same thing. But what I want us to do, so if you look here now, we have row labels, we have our dates as usual, but this time around, what do we have? January, February, March, April. I need to show you guys because January, February, they are dates, right? But I'll show you what Power BI can do. So it's a mistake that I made that mistake when I started a lot. So anyway, I'll just show you so we don't make the same mistakes. Okay. So the first thing we did last time, I'm going to go really fast this time around. I know I've been going fast. We're just going to show you. So the first thing here, this column has null values. I honestly don't see the need to have this column because everything is empty. Okay. So I'm just going to go to my home and I'm going to remove the column. Remove column. So I've removed it. Okay. Next thing I want to do is just like the last time. Here we have row labels, and here is actually not depicting the actual headers for my table. So I'm going to go here under my transform and use my first row as headers. So by using first row as headers, my row labels are here: January, February, March, April, and grand total. Once again, we have some null values here, and I have my dates: January, February, March. Now, although they are dates, they are not really dates. So you can't use the dates data type for it because it's not complete date. It's only January. Do you know the year? The exact date? We don't. Okay? So that is what makes it, you can't put it as data type. Once you can't put it as a data type, you give it as text. So next thing I want to do is just like I did the other ones, I want to unpivot the columns. They're all months. Can't we just have month name, right? So I'm just going to put January, February. Once again, you hold it down. February, March, April, and I'm going to unpivot the column. So now once again, I have attributes. I'm going to rename attribute because these are month names. Okay. So rename month, and value is price or cost, product cost. Okay. Then my grand total should actually be at the end because that's total. And then, so I have my January, February, March, April, May, everything is here once again. And we have no null values. Okay. And I think that's it. So for what I wanted to show you guys, for the month now is as text. Once I put it as date, what happens? Error. Because it doesn't see it as date. You're not giving it the full thing. It's not complete. Okay. So anyway, that's it. So you change it back to your text because it's better as text. Time is up. So I think that's still change type. So yeah, this is it. Okay. Yes. Let me come. I'm supposed to finish up. I'll finish up, then I'll see you. Okay. So anyway, does anybody have any questions so far about what we've done today? No questions. Are we all on the same page? We're not on the same page. It's like we'll meet at 2 again. Oh.
So I will also encourage you
Hmm?
not to encourage
Yeah.
because as a very young girl,
Was
especially recording, just you alone are recording.
I'm going to do that because I know those online are so.
Apart from online, even us too can go
Oh, so you can go back over
exactly
it.
because it's going to be posted in the same Telegram.
Oh yes,
So
yes,
you know
yes.
there's one waiting already.
Yeah.
Then with this one, the Lord is your strength.
No, I know. I've never done anything until I started writing. I was like, oh wow, people are suffering.
So the Lord is your
So
strength.
yeah. Anyway, I will do the class again online, and I will post it for you guys to watch it. Okay. So if you have any questions, you can send me an email, fadila.shehu@baseuniversity.edu.ng, and I'll see you guys next week. So I'm going to give you your first assessment. It's already on the portal. You guys need to listen to this. Your first assignment for this course, your course structure is basically two assignments of 20%, and then your capstone project is 60%. Okay, I have uploaded the first one on the on the Google Drive with lab. I think ideas lab 3. Okay, with the financial stable. You guys are supposed to do all the analysis, and using your dashboard, I will put the Google forms. You will choose a date that is suitable. I'll put the forms online. You answer it within 30 minutes, and you give it back to me. That is your first assessment. Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday. Wednesday is okay. So we can choose a time on Wednesday.
And talking about time, when the phone is being posted, normally leave it, I mean, 24
Hours.
how do they do it? Okay, maybe
I can put.
because
I
of
normally
internet,
time my
because
test
of
on.
some itches, sometimes 24 hours a day. So anybody wants to
Okay,
do it, they
can.
just pick it and
Okay, okay.
but after
So would you?
that,
I'll give you the form on Wednesday. Okay. Then you guys can answer. That's your first assessment. You cannot submit more than one response. Whatever you give me, that's it. Please don't see me for it. Okay. Then next week I'll give you the second one, and then we'll prepare for the final one. Okay. So I'll make sure next week's class is combined. We get a lot of time together so that you guys have the knowledge to do your own projects. Okay. For your own project, I'm going to give you data sets. Initially, I was going to do it in groups, but now that we have those online, I can't do it in groups. I'm just going to give everybody one. Okay. So I'll give you one data set. Like everybody has the same data set. Okay. You analyze it, you visualize it and everything. You also put the dashboard for me for your capstone project. You do a report interpreting your analysis. Okay. And I think that's basically it. So I'll see you guys next week. See, in the absence of any questions, no questions, va? So for those of you that are here physically, if you have any problem, I'll be available for the next 30 minutes before I go for prayer and come back for data analytics. So I rest. All right, so let's see what those online have. Yes.
just it's our first next to Saturday, so I'll be there for you.
Next is Saturday.
Next Saturday. So that during that time,
Yeah, they can even see you. Honestly, it's a lot of work. Even being students like this, I always have somebody assisting me with them, but this is a lot of stress.
so that's one day.
And on Sunday, I'm not coming. I have work on Monday.
Just tell them from 8 to 6, I'll just be there from throughout
So for those online, I'm going to put up a video. Okay, I'll put up a video and upload it for you guys. We can all communicate in Telegram group chat, and if you have any issues, you can send me an email at fadila.shehu at fadila.shehu at baseuniversity.edu.ng. Any complaints as well, I'll put a form so that you can communicate. We're working as a team here. Okay? So I can't send my email to them. It's not allowing me send email. Let me text it to you to upload it. So anyway, I think I'm done. Stop screen. And I've sent you. Okay, who am I? Let me send it to. I will choose. Please, as you're going through the labs, also, if you have any problems, I am available 247 to respond to your problems. Please, university. Dot edu. I will have sent it. All right, sir. Let me just. I'm coming. I'll attend to all of us here. Let me just finish this. Power BI works on Windows. You just have to download it. You download it from your Microsoft. Let me just present again. Just share my screen. So to download your Power BI, all you have to do is come to the Windows Store, which is here on your Windows system, and search for Power BI. Now, if you need any assistance, watch the first video. Um, so Power BI. it, it comes up with, where is it slow? Do you want to check what they have, what their problem is? Do you want to check if you're able to? Me and you will have to do full training first. I'm telling you. Maybe it will help me out. Please. So yeah, you have Power BI desktop here. Mine is already installed, but if you don't have it, this is where you install it. Okay. Um, can we delete the filter items? Yeah, you can delete anything you don't need. Okay. The first assessment is on Wednesday. I'm sending you guys a Google form, but the first lab is already on your classroom. So the Google Drive, this file on your Google Drive, this lab, this file is your lab manual. Okay. I'm still going to upload another link for you guys. Oh my, I can't. Oh, light, as in. So anyway, no attendance for today's class. Really? Oh, online students. Okay. What should we use? The it is actually among data and Google Drive. Now, I mean, if you open it, it's under the Power Query editor. This is my Power Query editor tutorial, and my pivot table is here. So if you import it into Power BI, it comes in as like different sheets. Okay. And you just go and check the Google Drive link on the Telegram group to catch up. And oh, let me just show you again. I don't know if you guys can see the screen now. Can you see my screen? Can you see my screen now? They can't see the screen. I think it's okay. They can. So for Microsoft, for the Power BI download, you can go to my first video. On Telegram. So for the first video where